Well, speaking to the chat, good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Both Ends of the Table. We're going to start you off tonight with Sunday Night Football, where the Steelers dropped their second straight, falling 35-25 to the Packers. Pittsburgh sits at 4-3, still holding the top spot in the AFC North, but just barely. They failed to separate from the Bengals without Joe Burrow and the Ravens squad missing Lamar Jackson. And now it doesn't get any easier. Rodgers and the Steelers are staring at a back-to-back matchup with the Colts and the Chargers. So, CISCO, I'll start with you. How much faith do you have in Rodgers to lead this team through the second half of the season and keep them in the top spot of their division?
Well, I don't really think it's Rodgers, to be honest with you. I think it's more so their defense. Not to question Rodgers on his leadership. I think the defense is kind of what's letting up a little bit.
Oh, okay. I see
So
what you're saying.
yeah, so it's. I think the defense needs to step it up, and I think T.J. Watt needs to rally up that defense and get them going. Granted, I know there's some old heads in there like Ramsey, which I know he's probably still that guy, but as we know, we saw him pull a hamstring doing that
But he's back in
doing
the
that
lineup
play.
again already.
No, no, I know, but yeah, but you have some older people in there, right? And you also have Darius Slay, where he's not what he used to be, right? But I think that defense needs to step it up to get to the second half of the season. Which I mean, with their age too, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, but we'll see coming weeks because they're the Colts and the Chargers stretch. That's going to be a tough one for them. I mean, especially on that defensive side,
Right.
for
Yeah,
sure.
that's what I'm saying. Because if you look at that division right now, it's wide open. So who knows?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't really see it to be Rogers' fault in that,
Hmm.
because I think they could get it rolling, but also like Johnny Smith, where I've seen him drop some crucial passes. Um, it's like DK Metcalf is like in his own little world sometimes, where he's over there drawing flags for whatever reason. So it's
Yeah.
like if they could all just rally together and be on the same page, I think they'll be fine. But I don't know if that'll happen.
Well, Luke, what do you think? Do you think it's more like I mean, you got to realize that this is Rodgers' first season with the Steelers, right? And I believe it's
Yeah.
his first time ever working with his offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. So it's like,
Yeah.
do you think that because I mean, at times they do show to kind of have some miscommunications,
Yeah.
on the offensive side of the football. They don't always seem to be clicking. So, do you think that that's more from like Rodgers still kind of more or less learning the play calls? Um, or do you think that it is what Cisco's saying, which is it's more of it stands more on their defensive side?
I wouldn't necessarily put it all on the defense. There is some miscommunications on offense that I think is pretty clear. Like on offense, I think DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers aren't clicking like the way everyone wants them to. That just
Hmm.
looks like a chemistry issue. I don't know. Uh, what they're doing during practice. They're hanging out. They're doing shrooms together. Fucking going on some ayahuasca trips or something like.
Well, they did
We
have
don't
those
know.
off-season workouts where they met up in LA, I believe. If not, it was somewhere in California. They met up in the off season and they were, running some routes and doing some plays together. So I don't think it's necessarily a chemistry issue. I feel like it has a lot to do with maybe probably learning that play call sheet and understanding, maybe the type of offense that Arthur Smith is trying to run.
Well,
I think
I
it's just
mean,
trying to execute it at a higher level, and I think it's taking
See,
some time for Rodgers to kinda get adjusted to that.
well, I think what Loop's also trying to say too is like the chemistry wise, like like adjusting on the fly. Like while the play's going on, like Rogers wants them in a certain spot, they're not there. That being that chemistry thing, like
Yeah.
if they see something on the field, Rogers expects them to be in a certain spot, but they're not, so it kind of throws it
yeah,
off.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I think that's kind of what you mean as far as like the chemistry wise, like being like improvising on the fly.
Yeah, because I'm sure Roger, being the quarterback and veteran he is, I'm sure he knows the playbook like the back of
Yeah.
his dick already. I don't think that's really of an issue. Uh, to me, to me, it's really like he's throwing the miscues. Like he's throwing the ball in the open field while these receivers are going a completely different way, and then Roger being like the king of the free play. Like we haven't seen him take advantage of that recently as much. Like
He
There's
did
also
take advantage of it. He did take
one
advantage of it, but
controversial
there was
call when they
a
didn't call him.
yeah, he got it. He got them to jump off sides, so he hiked the football. The
and then
refs never threw the flag, and yeah,
I think it was fourth. It went to fourth down. I think.
yeah. And the whole time he thought he had a free play, and yeah, he's the king of that shit, bro.